Coming into child's pose, knees nice and wide apart. Walk the hands forward towards the front of the mat, keeping the sit bones back towards the heels. Bring the head down to the mat and just take a moment folded in between those thighs. Maybe the eyes are closed and scan the body from the fingertips down to the toe tips, just having a little check-in with how your body feels as you've arrived on the mat. Noticing tight spots, injuries, and being mindful of them as you move. And if something doesn't feel right, come out of the pose and find your way back to this space maybe, or cat-cow, or go onto the back, taking bridge. Whatever works for you at that point. On a breath in, walk the hands to the right side of the mat. Bringing your left hand on top of the right and sinking the chest to that inner right thigh. Maybe you're starting to switch into that Ujjayi breath now, slight restriction at the back of the throat. Breathing in and out through the nose only, but if you want to continue with your exhale out of the mouth, feel free to take that. On your next inhale, walk the hands back through centre and over to the left side of the mat. Right hand on top of the left, chest to the inner left thigh. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. Keep that right sit bone back towards the right heel. Then walking the hands back to centre, taking a breath out in a neutral place. Have a moment here, stretching through the fingers to the front of the mat and pushing the sit bones to the heels at the back of the mat. One more breath. And then making your way up onto your hands and knees, bringing the heel of the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a moment there. Keep that core engaged as you step both feet back into a plank position. Heels pushing back, crown forward, soft elbows, pushing that chest away from the mat and into the space between the shoulder blades. Squeezing the bum, the thighs, abdominal contraction, nice strong plank. And then lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back to find our first down dog. Maybe have a paddle of the feet as you've arrived here. So I'm going to be taking you through 3 choices of Vinyasa. We're going to be doing a count of 4 through each pose of the Vinyasa. So when I've got to 4, you should be at the part of the pose where you slightly hold for a second. Okay, when you're ready, come forward to plank. 2, 3, 4, and lower. Drop knees. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4, and lower. 2, 3, 4. Toes tuck, chest back. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, squeeze heels back. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we'll take that again with the count. This time I'm going to be lowering to the mat with a straight body, but everything else the same. Inhale to plank. 2, 3, 4. Exhale to lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale to lift. 2, 3, 4. Exhale to lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, chest back. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lift hips. 2, 3, and 4. So as you can tell, there's an inhale and an exhale to every pose that we take. So the long breath for a count of 4, both in and out. Option 3 is we're missing out that extra breath with chest back to thighs. If you're coming with me, inhale to plank. 2, 3, 4. Exhale to hover. 2, 3, 4. Inhale to lift. 2, 3, 4. Exhale straight back to down dog. 2, 3, 4. Taking a moment in down dog. The slower we make those vinyasas, the more it demands of the muscles to get stronger, rather than relying on momentum to find the space. We're going to start our standing flow, adding on poses as we go. Weight stays in your left foot, your right leg lifts. We bend the right knee and we stack it with the hips. Push the right foot to the left. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step your right foot through. Stabilise the feet first, then the right hand comes up and over to the back of the room and the left hand to the front of the room. Right knee stays bent, hips stay low, left leg is straight, engaging the upper left thigh and pushing that left heel to the back of the mat. Try and encourage your right shoulder back a little further and your left shoulder around, using the muscles at the sides of the waist. One more breath in this space. And then windmill the hands down slowly to either side of your right foot. Step back with the right foot to meet the left. Hold plank for a breath. And then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Find downward facing dog. Straight onto the left side. Weight stays in your right foot, your left leg lifts. Bend at the knee and stack up with the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step the left foot through. Stabilise first. Left arm up and over. Left arm back, right hand forward. Arms nice and long, torso stacking, shoulders turning, but all the movements coming from the waist. Straightening maybe your right leg out a little more, maybe bend into your left leg a little further to keep those hips low. On your next out breath, let's windmill back down, nice and slow to either side of the left foot. Step the left foot back to plank. Lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Down dog. We're taking one of those long slow vinyasas. I'm taking option 1. Inhale, plank. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, lift. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Chest back. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lift hips. Down dog. 2, 3, and 4. We're adding a pose on to both sides. Weight stays in left foot, your right leg lifts. We bend the knee, we stack at the hips. Keep the shoulders neutral to the front edge of the mat. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Step the right foot through, stabilise the feet. Right arm up and over and twist the torso to the right, right hand back, left hand forward. Just take a moment there first. And then scooping the right hand down and around forward to meet left. Left hand up and over, drop the left heel to the mat, turn the palms down. Hips should have stayed relatively low through that transition. Right knee is tracking towards the little toe on the right foot, and we're pushing nice and firmly into the outside of the left foot. Relax the shoulders, lengthen the arms. Your drishti point, gaze point can be to the right fingertips. Crown of the head stacking on top of that spine. One more breath here. And then on your out breath, windmill the hands down either side of your right foot slowly and step your right foot back to meet your left foot. Lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back, find down dog. Take a moment to neutralise the shoulders and the hips. Then your weight stays in your right foot as your left leg lifts. Bend up the knee and stack it with the hips. Realign the hips, bring that knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands and bring that left foot through. Left arm windmills up and over to the back of the room and right hand forward. Find that position first. Then scooping your left arm down and around forward to meet right. Right hand up and over and drop your right heel. Hips are low. Back leg is nice and straight. Left knee is bent. Left knee tracking towards the little toe on that left foot. Sink a little lower into those hips if you can. Relax through the shoulders. Gaze to the left fingertips. And breathe deep breaths. Slowly bring the hands down either side of that left foot. Step the left foot back to meet your right foot. Find plank. And then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Find downward facing dog. Let's take a long, slow vinyasa. I'm going with option 2. Inhale to plank. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. 4. Inhale, lift and tuck toes. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4. Chest back to thighs. 2, 3, 4. Lift hips up, squeeze heels back. 2, 3, and 4. Have a little nod and a shake of the head. So now we're going to be adding another pose on, starting with the right leg. Bend, lift the right leg, bend the knee and stack up with the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step your right foot through. Stabilize first. Right hand reaches up and over to find your rotated warrior, just for a breath. Then right arm scoops down and around, forward to meet your left. Left hand up and over, drop your left heel, hips stay low. Warrior 2 for a breath. And then scooping the left arm down and around, forward to meet right. Toes of the back foot and hands to the chest. Lean forward with the torso. Left elbow hooks right knee. Push the elbow into the knee, resist with the knee, push back. Breathe in, elongate, breathe out and rotate. Left leg nice and straight with the left heel squeezing back. Right knee bent with right knee to stack over the ankle as much as possible. Use that breath to find the rotation, maybe bringing those thumbs to the sternum. And then release the hands down either side of your right foot. Step your right foot back to plank. Hold plank for a breath. Then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Down dog. Let's take those poses on the left side. Weight stays in your right foot. Left leg lifts, bend the knee, stack up with the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Step the left foot through, stabilize the feet, hips stay low. Left arm windmills up and over. Torso to stack, left hand back, right hand forward. Then scoop the left arm down and around, forward to meet right. Right hand up and over and drop the right heel with the hips nice and low. Warrior 2 for a breath. Then scoop your right arm down, forward to meet left, toes of the back foot and hands to the chest, palms together. Lean forward with the torso, right elbow hooks left knee. Elongate, inhale, rotate, exhale, encouraging those thumbs towards the chest. Left knee stacking over that left ankle, right heel pushing back, right thigh engaged. Then bring the hands down to either side of that left foot. Step the left foot back to meet right foot. Hold plank for a breath. Then lift the hips up and squeeze the heels back. This time I'm taking option 3, Vinyasa. Coming forward on the inhale, 2, 3, 4. Lower to hover, 2, 3, 4. Lift chest, 2, 3, 4. Thighs away. Roll straight back to down dog, 2, 3, 4. If you've taken option 1 or 2, meeting you back in downward facing dog. Coming down onto the knees, take a moment either in child's pose or choice to take water. Whatever works for you right now. If you need hydrating, take that drink. If you need restoration, take child's pose. And try and find that breath again. Taking long breaths in, long breaths out. So we've still got more poses to add on. So when you're ready, come back up onto the hands and knees. Step both feet back to a plank position. And lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back to down dog. Take a moment in down dog. Right side, left foot stays grounded. Right leg lifts, bend at the knee and stack up with the hips. Then realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Step the right foot through. Stabilize first, then right arm up and over to the back of the room, left hand forward. Find that space first. Then bring your right arm down and around forward to meet left. Left hand up and over and drop the left heel. And find warrior two space. Then left arm down and around forward to meet right. Toes of the back foot, hands to the chest. Lean forward with the torso. Left elbow hooks right knee. Breathe in length, breathe out and rotate. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right leg and drop your left heel. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling. Then turn the palm to the front of the mat and reach that hand up and over the head to find a long stretch down the left side waist. Choice to find a bind. Left hand comes behind the back to find half bind onto the right thigh. Right arm, if you want to find full bind, comes underneath the right leg and finds fingertips at the back of that right hip. Head in line with the spine, long right side torso, long left side torso. Holding this space for another breath. If you're bind, release the bound. Release right hand to the floor and reach the left hand back up. And then bring the left hand back to the mat, right hand to outside of right foot, step the right foot back, hold plank for a breath. And then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back to find our downward facing dog. Same poses on your left leg lifts, bend the knees, stack up with the hips. Realign the hips, bring that knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands and step that foot through. Stabilize, left hand up and over and twist the body to the left, arms out, T-shape. Then scoop the arm of the left down to meet right. Right hand up and over to the back, turn the palms down, drop the right heel. Hips stay low. Then right arm back down and around and forward to meet left and toes of the back foot, hands to the chest. Lean forward, right elbow, left knee, and rotate to the left. Elongate, inhale, rotate on your exhale. Then dropping your left hand to the inside of the left foot, dropping your right heel to the mat and reaching the right hand up. Turn the palm to the front, reach up and over that head, stretching down that right side waist. If you want to find half bind, right hand comes behind the back to find left thigh. Or full bind, left arm comes underneath and we find fingertips on the side of that left hip. Long left side body, right side body, head in line with the spine. Knee of the left is bent, right leg is straight, firmly pushing into the floor with both feet. If you found a bind, release the bind. Left hand down, right hand to lift. And then bringing that right hand back down to the mat, left hand to outside of the left foot, toes of the back foot, step back to plank. Lift up with the hips, squeeze the heels back, find downward facing dog. So let's take a long, slow vinyasa. I'm sticking with the hover of chaturanga. On a breath into plank, 2, 3, 4, and lower. 2, 3, 4. Lift chest, 2, 3, 4. Back to down dog. 2, 3, 4. If you've taken the chest back to thighs, meet you here. We had another pose to add on to the end of that flow. Weight stays in your left foot. Right leg lifts, bend the knee and stack up with the hips. Then realign the hips and bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands and step that foot through. Hips stay low, right arm reaches up and over and we twist around to the right. Left leg straight. Right arm down and around, keep the hips low, left hand up and over and drop the left heel to the mat. Warrior two. Then scoop your left arm back down and around forward to meet right, toes of the back foot, hands to the chest. Lean forward, left elbow to hook right knee, resist with the right knee, push back into that arm and find that twist. Then bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot and drop your left heel to the mat, reaching your left hand up. Turn the palm, reach it up and over the head. We're not binding here because we're not staying long enough. Then straighten the right leg, bring the right hand to the inside of that right shin. Left hand reaches up, tuck your right shoulder under, left shoulder to stack. Both legs straight, but trying not to hyperextend that right knee. Long right side torso, left side torso, head in line with the spine. Holding triangle for a couple of breaths. And then turn the chest to the floor, bring the left hand to the mat, bend the right knee, toes of the back foot, step the right foot back to meet left. Lift up with the hips, squeeze the heels back to find our downward facing dog shape. Opposite side, weight stays in the right foot, left leg lifts, bend up the knee and stack up with the hips. Then realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands and step your left foot through. Stabilize, lift the torso to stack, left arm up and over, left arm back, right hand forward. Keep those hips low, bring your left arm down and around forward to meet right. Right hand up and over and drop the right heel. Bring your right arm down and around and forward to meet left. Toes of the back foot and hands to the chest. Forward with the torso, right elbow, left knee. Breathe in, elongate, breathe out and rotate. Then bringing your left hand down to the inside of the left foot and drop your right heel to the mat. Reach the right hand up to the ceiling, turn the palm, reach it up and over the head. We're not taking a bound, we're not here for long enough. Then straighten the left leg and bring the left hand up that left shin, right hand to the ceiling, tuck the left shoulder under, right shoulder to stack, left bum cheek under, right hip turned out. Little micro bend in that left knee. So we're using the muscles in the upper thigh to hold that knee in a good position, not compromised in hyperextension. Maybe the gaze is up, forward or down to the left foot. Then turn the shoulders, bend into the left knee, plant the hands, toes of the back foot, step the left foot back to meet the right foot, hold plank for a breath. And then lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back to find down dog. Let's take a long, slow vinyasa. I'll take it back to chest, back to thighs. Breathing in, plank, 2, 3, 4, and lower, 2, 3, 4. Lift chest, 2, 3, 4. Chest back down, 2, 3, 4. Tuck toes, chest back, 2, 3, 4. Lift hips, squeeze heels back, 2, 3, and 4. We have another pose to add on to the end of that flow. Just take a moment in down dog. Relax through the shoulders and the neck by nodding and shaking the head, maybe having a little paddle of those feet. And then if you're happy to bring those heels to a still position, encourage them back. Weight stays in the left foot as your right leg lifts. We bend at the knee and we stack up with the hips. Realign the hips, bring the knee to the chest. Compress that hip flexor as you step your right foot through. Hips stay low, right arm windmills up and over. Send it to the back, left hand to the front and twist through the waist. Right arm down and around and forward to meet left. Left hand up and over and drop your left heel. Hips still nice and low. Then scooping your left arm down and forward to meet right. Come onto the toes of the back foot and the hands to the chest. Lean forward, hook left elbow, right knee. Push in to both. Rotate. Then bringing your right hand down to the inside of the right foot and drop your left heel. Reach your left hand up. Turn the left palm, reach it up and over the head, stretch the left side waist. Then straightening your right leg, bring your right hand to inside of right shin, left hand up, maybe gaze to that thumb, out to the side or down to that right foot. Just make sure the head isn't hanging. Then really slowly lift the torso, send the right hand to the ceiling, left hand down the back of the left leg, and reach that right hand up and over the head, both legs stay straight. If you want to find a bind onto that right hip with the left hand, take it behind the back. We've really used those oblique muscles to transition through these poses. And then slowly windmilling the hands all the way back down, turning the chest towards the mat, bending into the right knee, toes of the back foot, step back the right foot to plank. And then lift up with the hips and squeeze the heels back to downward facing dog. We have that left side to take. Weight stays in your right foot, your left leg lifts. We bend the knee and we stack up with the hips. Realign the hips, compress the left hip flexor to bring the knee through and step your left foot to the front of the mat. Stabilize, left arm up and over, windmilling around to the left side of the room. Hips stay low. Left arm down and around, forward to meet right. Right hand up and over, send it to the back. Warrior two. Then scooping your right hand down and around, forward to meet left. Toes of the back foot, hands to the chest. Forward with the torso, right elbow, left knee. Resist with the knee, resist with the arm, push it into each other. Breath in, breath out. Then bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Drop your right heel to the mat. Reach your right hand to the ceiling. Turn the palm to the front. Reach it up and over the head. And then straightening through the left leg. Send the right hand back up. Left hand up the left shin. Tuck your left shoulder under. Your right shoulder to stack. Left bum cheek under. Right hip turned out. Then slowly lift the torso up, and as you transition through, send the left hand up, right hand down the back of the right leg. Maybe find a bind onto that left thigh. Breathe into that left rib cage. Push firmly into the feet. Stay relaxed through the shoulders, but long through that top arm. We're going to slowly transition back down, windmilling the hands as we go. All the way around, turning the chest to the floor, bending into the left knee. Toes of the back foot, step back to plank. Hold plank for a breath. Then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Down dog. Let's take a long slow vinyasa. I'm taking the chaturanga option. Come forward, 2, 3, 4, and lower, 2, 3, 4. Lift chest, 2, 3, 4. Down dog, 2, 3, 4. Remember, if you was chest back to thighs, you take that extra inhale and exhale. Coming down onto the knees. Big toes together, seat towards the feet, forehead towards the mat. So we're going to take all those 6 poses again, but really slow the movement down to get into one pose and to the other. So if you want to just take on a little bit of water before we take the full 6 poses both sides, feel free to go there. When you're ready, making your way back to down dog, either coming through tabletop plank and then finding downward facing dog, sending the gaze back towards the toes, the knees or the hips to stretch the back of the neck. Before we start, let's take a long slow vinyasa first. We're going to take it to 5 and I'm going to be coming chest back to thighs on this one, but if you want to just do your chaturanga and straight back to down dog, feel free, but take your breath in for 5 and out for 5. Breath into plank, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, lift, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lower, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chest back to thighs, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lift hips, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Really working those muscles as we go. Weight stays in your left foot, your right leg lifts. Slowly lift that leg up and bend the right knee. Turn the hips, push the right foot to the left. Remember, we're slowing it right down. Realign the hips. Compress the right hip flexor to bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands. Keep the hip flexor compressed as you step your right foot through. Right arm slowly windmills up, over, back to the back of the room. Left hand forward, right hand back. Slowly bring your right arm down, forward to left. Left hand up, overturn the hips and the shoulders and drop the left heel. Hips are nice and low. Left arm down, forward. Meet the right toes of the back foot, hands to the chest. Torso leans forward. Elbow hooks. Breath in, elongation. Breath out, rotation. Bring your right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Drop your left heel to the mat. Reach your left hand up. Turn the palm to the front. Reach up and over with that left hand. Then slowly straighten the right leg and reach the left hand back up. Find triangle. Right shoulder under the left shoulder. Slowly, with very slow movements, arms long, use the muscles in the waist to transition to our reverse triangle. Right hand lifts up and over. And then with as much control as you took going that way, slowly take it back the other. Windmill the hands, turn the chest, bend the right knee, toes of the back foot. Step back to plank. Lift the hips. Squeeze the heels back. Long count of 5, Vinyasa. I'm taking chest back to thighs again. Forward, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift chest. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Toes tuck, chest back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lift hips, squeeze heels back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have one side left to do with all those 6 poses, nice and slow. Weight stays in your right foot. Slowly lift the left leg up. Bend the knee. Stack up with the hips. Realign the hips. Compress the left hip. Knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands and slowly step that left foot through. Stabilize. Left arm slowly windmills up and over. Both arms T-shape, twisted, rotated warrior. Slowly bring your left arm down, forward to meet right. Right hand up and over. Keep the hips low. Turn the hips and the chest. Right heel drops. Right hand comes back and down. Forward to meet left, toes of the back foot, hands to the chest. Lean forward, right elbow, left knee. Breathe in length, breathe out your twist. Bring your left hand down to inside of left foot and drop the right heel to the mat. Reach your right hand up to the ceiling, turn the palm, reach it up and over the head. Then slowly straighten the left leg and send the right arm back up. Triangle pose. Slowly lift the torso, windmilling the arms all the way up and over to find our rotated triangle. And with as much slowness as you've taken through the whole of this side, slowly bring those hands up and over, turn the chest, bend the left knee, toes of the back foot, step back to plank. And from plank, lift up with the hips, squeeze the heels back. A good long slow vinyasa. Forward for 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. And lower. 2, 3, 4, 5. Chest back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lift hips, squeeze heels back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nod, shake of the head. Coming down onto the knees. Just take a moment in child's pose. Before we take our standing balance of eagle, we'll transition slowly into that pose. Nice long deep breath in, calm the mind, calm the breath for the balance. Make your way back up to hands and knees. Step both feet back to plank position. Lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back, down dog. Walk the feet to the centre. Bring the hands to meet. Soften the knees, take a hold of the elbows, let go of the head. Make some circles in one direction, circles the other side. Release the arms to be heavy, curl up through that spine, one vertebra at a time. And as you arrive in standing, roll the shoulders back. And then I'm going to turn myself to the centre of the mat, just so I can mirror image. So we're going to bring your weight into your right leg, hands to hips. Bring your left foot over your right and tap the toes on the mat. Bend into your standing leg, which is your right leg, and then hook the left toes behind the back of the shin. If you can't find that at the side of the shin, or keep the toes on the mat. Try and keep the hips facing forward. When you've found the legs, bring the arms up to shoulder height. When you've found shoulder height, take your left arm underneath your right, bend the elbows, find the back of the hands, or find the palms, and then raise the elbows up. Sink the hips a little lower. Remember that left toes can tap on the mat to find a little more stability. One more breath. And then release the hands back to the hips. Straighten through your standing leg and bring your left knee up to hip height. Toes of the foot back towards the shins. Turn the knee out. Find a place for that foot, either lower shin or upper to the inner thigh. And once you've found your legs, bring the hands to the chest, opening that left knee out as much as you can without the hips following. Just take a moment in tree, standing on that leg of the right, fatiguing through the base of the foot and the ankle maybe. One more breath. And then bring the hands back to the hips and release that left foot back to the mat. Take a little paddle of those feet. And then let's take it on the opposite side. So your weight now comes into your left foot. Take your right leg over the left, maybe keep the toes tapped. Then bend into your standing left leg and maybe hook that right foot around or bring it to the side of the shin or keep it with the toes on the mat. Try and keep the hips nice and neutral. Once you've found your legs, bring the arms forward. This time your right arm comes underneath. We bend the elbows, we find the back of the hands or the palms, and then we lift the elbows up and sink the hips a little lower. Try and find the focus for your external and your breath for your internal. Then bring the hands then back to the hips. Straighten up through the standing leg and bring that right knee out to the side. Place that foot on the inner thigh or shin, wherever feels right for you or where you can get it to. And once you've found a place for that foot, make sure the knee of that right is turned out. And then bring the hands together at the chest and just take a moment in stillness. Keep squeezing the outside of that left hip. Maybe push a little firmer into the palms. Activate the arms. Just one more breath here. Then bring the hands back to the hips. That foot back to the floor. Take a little paddle of the feet. Then turn yourself back to the front of the mat, which you're probably there already. Toes pointing out, heels slightly in, hands to chest. Slowly lower into a low Malasana squat, elbows to the inside of the knees. Take a close of the eyes, moment in stillness. And then bring the hands behind you, bring the feet in front of you, straighten through the legs, arms out shoulder height, toes back to the shins, and slowly lower yourself with as much control as you can find, all the way back to the mat, keeping everything strong as you lower. And when you find your way to the floor, arms to cactus arms, bend into knees, ankles and feet. Knees together, hips to the left, drop knees to the right. Let's just neutralise that spine with a twist. Hold the knees to the right just for another breath. And then bring the knees back to centre, hips to the right, knees to the left. Keep that lower back protected by tucking your tail. Bring the knees back to centre. Neutralise the spine in the middle. Hip flexor stretch, so drop the knees into the centre and heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. Then drop the knees to the right without the feet moving and feel the stretch down that left hip and maybe into that left thigh. Bring those knees back into a centre position. And then over to the other side, knees drop to left. Stretch through that right hip. And bring it back to a centre position. Choice to stay here with knees dropping in, or heel toe the feet to the centre, dropping the knees out, or straightening the legs to the length of the mat, mat width apart. Hands can stay cactus arms, T-shape, palms facing down, or hands by the side of the body, palms facing up. Taking your most favoured relaxation position, and just take a few moments here, maybe wriggling through the hips, sending the shoulders down and away from the ears, maybe having a turn of the head in both directions. And then just bringing yourself to a still position, taking a long deep breath in and a long sigh out through the mouth. Let the body become heavy. Bring yourself to your happy place for the next few moments. That place that makes you feel relaxed, makes you feel comfortable within your own skin. Maybe it's a place where there's hills, mountains. Maybe it's by the sea. Maybe your home. Whatever that happy place may be, take yourself there. Bring yourself back into the room. If you wish to stay longer in relaxation, pause me now. If you're coming out with me, wriggle the fingers, the toes. Maybe rotate the wrists, the ankles. Maybe find a full body stretch, stretching the hands up and over the head, stretching through the fingers, the toes, arching the lower back. And then bringing the hands back up and over and the knees in towards the chest. Have a little rock of that body from side to side. And then roll onto your side. Take a moment with a long breath in and a long breath out. And then making your way into a seat, maybe keeping those eyes gently closed. And when you find a seat, grow tall through the spine. Relax through the shoulders with a slight bow through the head. Take a roll of the shoulders up towards the ears, back down towards the hips. Then reach the hands up on an in-breath, palms together at the top. And on an out-breath, bring the hands to the chest and a soft gaze to the floor. Breathe in wisdom and peace. Breathe out love and joy. Namaste.